Hello everyone, welcome to Scorcher Toys at AnyMoon.com's transformation guide for Yamato and Arcadia's VF-4G toys. Today we are going to transform the toy from Battroid mode back to GERWALK and ultimately fighter modes. To begin, we're going to take these little baffles in the front. We're just going to pull them up and push them inward. We're going to turn the toy around. We're going to take these pieces here that extend down. We're going to push them up and tuck them inside. We can also bring these vertical stabilizers up right now. So it's, again, we're just going to push this up and in. We're going to turn the toy around, and this top plate is locked on to what would be the cockpit section via a few different tabs. So we are just going to apply pressure upward, and we're going to try to get those to pop apart from each other. So let's see if we can. Now, it's no big deal if this section comes unhinged like I just did, because ultimately that's a step we were going to do anyways. Once we've got the top unhinged, I'm going to go ahead and bring this back. We're going to turn the toy over. This is the head area. We're going to go ahead and lift up this piece here, push the head down and in, and it should get to a point where it kind of settles into that head-shaped groove below. So just press it in. Should look nice and tight like that. On the bottom, there's this little piece here. We're just going to fold that down and around. So that looks like that. And then going back up, we would close that door that I've already closed here, this little trap door in the front. Just close that down and completely conceal the head. And you should have the top of your fighter mode coming together. I've repositioned this section to look like it should had it not pulled apart when we lifted up the top section. But before we move forward, I'm going to go ahead and tell you to remove these missiles. You might have seen them actually pop off on that last bit. And also remove the missiles on the arms. They are just going to pop off on you if you don't remove them now anyways. And I don't want to keep fiddling with them through transformation. We'll just apply them back on the toy when we get to the mode we want it in. So now the next step we want to focus on is removing the peg that is attached from this back section into the nose cone. And it's a very stiff peg. And in pulling away, there's also a fin right here that may pop off on you. If it does, don't worry about it. It is just, here we go. It just pegs right back into position up here. But we want to now just put it aside for the moment. We're going to bring this peg down. We're going to rotate the legs forward. And we're going to kind of straighten out the body like so. There's a couple of flaps in the back here. We're going to go ahead and rotate them out. And they will swing all the way around like so. All right, so we have an extreme close-up going of the underside of the nose here. And this section here should be pushed out at this point. We're going to push everything back in when we've got it where we want it to be. We can move the nose cone up a little bit right now to get it out of our way as we take this fin that had popped off and plug that back in. And now you can see it swivels on this base here. Once we've done that, let's go ahead and just push that whole thing up, and you can see the canopy gets into its proper position. We can also take the nose cone and bring that up, and then bring the trap door that this is on and bring that up as well. The nose cone has a little bit of an extension to it, so go ahead and press it firmly into position. Now we're going to go ahead and attach the bottom of the craft to the top of the craft here. What we want to do is bring out these little bay doors on either side of the legs. Get those out and opened up. And then what we're going to do is kind of bring this section forward on the hinge so the legs are in front of those doors. You might need to rotate them forward a little bit. As you can see, as we pull forward, let's get that hinge here straightened out. And you should have a little metal clip in the back here that you need to make sure gets positioned inside that housing. We're going to go to GERWALK mode so the hips can be down a little bit. But once everything's lined up, you're just going to be able to push into place. And now the top and the bottom of the craft are connected together. If you have the little missile ports on the side right here extended away from the body, which may be the case. So these ports, which are very difficult to get out. There you go. So if this port is sticking out like that, at this point you want to close that up, get it nice and tight. We're not going to put the missile back on it yet. We also have these canards in the front. We will get those into position. They have a little extension gimmick. Push that in tight, and then they will be in their proper positions. Now we're going to focus on the legs again. We're going to bring them together here, and we're going to pull them up. There's a little extension gimmick there. So with them in and up, you can go ahead and close this exterior trap door here, or bay door. That kind of locks them into position there. We can, of course, pivot them forward now. And what we want to do is grab the foot and pull it out all the way. And then obviously we're going to be angling it, and repeat with the other foot on the other side here. And then stand your toy up and get it looking comfortable. In all likelihood, your toy is going to look something like this now, and we're going to go ahead and go through all the fine tuning you should do. Here's the canard. We're just going to bring that up, and again, make sure that they are seated totally inward. And similarly, these vertical stabilizers in the back, they have a little extension gimmick. You want to make sure that they are pressed in entirely, and then that'll help you get to the point where they can be the same angle on either side. You had the wings crooked down for Battroid mode. You should make sure that they are now all the way up. You have these shoulder flap pieces. You want to make sure they are symmetrical. This front piece here should be tucked in all the way. In the back, you might have one of these guys closed up a little bit more than the other. So you're just going to grab it and open it up. And then as we go down, your legs here, they're in the extended position. And what I like to do, and maybe this is just a subjective thing, I like to go ahead and slide them down. I just feel like the legs look way too long otherwise. And then you can have your toy in GERWALK position like so. And we're just going to go ahead and grab our missiles and put those back on. Here we are in GERWALK mode, and I have got the missiles attached again. You can see there. Another fine-tuning thing, there's baffles underneath the thrusters. Make sure you've got those down, and make sure you've got these flaps behind the shoulder down. And turning the toy around, these little winglets on the bottom here, they come flat so you can have the landing gears work, but they should be swept forward in GERWALK mode. And this is really what your toy should look like. Whether or not you like it or not, that's up to you. We're going to continue on to fighter mode, and the first step I'm going to do is take those missiles back off again. Missiles are off, and we are going to head to fighter mode. Begin by pushing these baffles up, bringing these doors up as well, and then spin your toy around. We're going to go ahead and recess the fist. So open up the trap door there and rotate the fist in. Bring the trap door shut, and then when you push that shut, you'll also collapse that nacelle onto the hand. And what we're going to do here is bring this piece up and that whole piece that floats on also up. And we're going to take our arm and we're going to spin it around. And then there is a little pivot inside. Let's see if we can get that into focus here. There's a pivot inside, and what you want to do is get that pivot up in as high as it'll go, and then bring the arm forward. So you can see this is up, arm is forward, and we just bring this over and then collapse it, and it should go into position. There's a couple little tabs there. You might have to reset it into position, but there you go, and it'll look something like that. I've gotten the other arm into position, and now we're going to pay attention to the legs. There is a trap door on the back of the leg, and we're just going to put our fingernail in here, and we're going to push it down like so. You can see the leg extended a little bit. Don't worry about that, because now we're going to take the foot, collapse that, and then take the leg and rotate it forward. It should look something like this. We're going to go ahead and rotate it all the way down and forward like so. And we're going to repeat with the other leg. Now is decision time. Are you going to go for the atmospheric look or are you going to go for a space look? If you're doing atmospheric, all you got to do is bring a fingernail in there and bring up your turbine fans and then continue with transformation. If you're going for a space look, find your little separate intake fan covers and install those now. And then you're going to go ahead and push the leg into position. First things first, we got to open up this trap door on the side. We're going to pivot the leg over. And as we get past that trap door, we're just going to bring the leg down and you should see everything kind of sink up into place. There are some tabs on the nacelle. You're going to push it closed. You want to get that wing straight. You can see there's also a tab on the wing that goes into the leg there. That's pretty pivotal to the performance here. And then once you've got it all together, you can close up that trap door on the inside and repeat on the other side. Put the missiles back on the toy and you are in fighter mode. If you have any gaps, just press everything together. Probably get your feet open a little bit. Make sure these vents in the back are open about the same. Again, keep things looking symmetrical. Check out my full article on anymoon.com. And as always, thanks for watching.